Hi, my name's Tiffany.
And my name's Matt. Join us today as we take a look at Salvador Dali and the Surrealists and what made them tick.
Get Surreal with Salvador Dali, next on Dali TV.
Matt, take a look at this painting. Seems kinda normal, right?
Yeah.
Now look at the entire painting. Weird, huh?
Yeah. Unreal.
You mean surreal. This painting by Salvador Dali is called The Weaning of Furniture Nutrition. Do you know why this painting is surreal?
Well, the woman sitting on the beach has an opening in her back and a crutch holding her up. It's like she's not a real person.
So the laws of nature are reversed. A living thing has become a lifeless object.
Right.
What else?
Those chests of drawers on the beach, they don't belong there.
That's juxtaposition, putting two different things side by side that don't normally go together.
Oh, got it. Two things side by side that don't normally go together. Like us.
Matt, what are you talking about? We're the perfect surreal team.
The Surrealists love to surprise and shock the viewer.
One of the favorite techniques of the Surrealists was transformation, turning something familiar into something unusual and disturbing.
This is a sculpture by Murray Oppenheim called Object. It's a fur-covered cup, spoon, and saucer. Oppenheim transformed a regular household object into something strange by covering it with a different material. I mean, can you imagine taking a drink out of that?
Another favorite technique of the Surrealists was dislocation. Objects are placed where they shouldn't be.
This painting seems fairly normal, a table setting, but there's a human eyeball staring out at you. That's dislocation.
Strange.
Bizarre.
Dreamlike.
Fantastic. Surreal.
Get Surreal.
Okay, Tiffany, take a look at this painting and get surreal with it.
A challenge. I love it.
This painting is called The Ghost of Vermeer of Delft, which can be used as a table. It was done by the most famous of the Surrealists, Salvador Dali. So, Tiff, tell me why it's surreal.
Tiff? Please. Well, first of all, it is done in a very realistic style. It almost looks like a photograph. And the yellowish light in the sky makes it look like a storm is ready to happen. It kind of gives me a creepy feeling.
But those things don't make it surreal.
I know, I'm not done. Sheesh. Look at the man's leg. It's become a table leg. That's metamorphosis, when an object is changed into something else. So the realistic look of the painting, the strange lighting, and the metamorphosis of the man's leg all make this a surreal painting.
I hate to admit it, but you're good.
Why do you hate to admit it? Don't hate me because I'm smart and beautiful.
Yeah, get real.
No, get surreal.
The unusual landscape around Cadaqués was very influential to the young Dali. He would study the rocks and cliffs and saw animal and human shapes. And when he looked at the rocks at different times of the year, the light and shadows made them change again. And he saw even more images. Dali never forgot these strange shapes and landscapes, and he used them over and over in his later works.
Dali began to mix into his paintings childhood fears and memories in the form of symbols. One of these symbols was a grasshopper.
When Dali was a kid, he chased and collected grasshoppers. One day, he caught a strange-looking fish called a slobberer and saw the face of a grasshopper. Dali freaked out and was filled with terror.
The kids at school found out and teased him, threw grasshoppers at him, and hid them in his desk.
Dali remembered these events from his youth and began to put grasshoppers in his paintings. He wanted to fill the viewer with the same shock and disgust that he felt. Dali had many symbols that reappear often in his works, including grand pianos, egg-shaped objects, watches, ants, and crutches.
One evening in 1931, Gala went to the movies with friends while Dali stayed at home. Dali had been working on a painting that featured the deserted landscape near Port Lagat. Dali was about to go to bed and looked over at the painting. He started thinking about the hardness and softness of objects and remembered the Camembert cheese he had eaten earlier. Dali went over to the painting and suddenly saw 3 limp watches, soft like Camembert cheese. When Gala returned from the movies, Dali showed her the finished painting. He asked her if she thought she would remember the painting in 3 years. Gala told him that no one who saw the painting would ever forget it. She was right, and the painting, The Persistence of Memory, which hangs in the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, is one of the 20th century's most famous works of art.
Perhaps Dali's major contribution to the Surrealist movement was something he called the paranoid critical method. The theory was inspired by the rocks that Dali saw as a child, the ones that looked like faces and animals, but at the same time were also rocks. Dali's paranoid critical method was a process to look at an object and see other things within it that don't really exist. One result of this practice were works known as double image paintings, where one form contains 2 or more images. This painting, Slave Market with the Disappearing Bust of Voltaire, is an example of a double image painting. At first glance, you see merchants in the market. Some lean against the walls, others walk through a high arched window. But if you look at the painting again, there's something else going on. Can you see the disappearing bust of Voltaire? Now, Voltaire was a French writer and philosopher. This bust is in the Louvre Museum in Paris, and when Dali saw this, he visualized a double image. What Dali has done is hide the bust within the marketplace. Can you see it now? The arched window becomes the forehead. The 2 merchants' heads are the eyes. The merchant's collars become the nose and cheeks. And the merchant's sleeve becomes the chin. Now that you've seen the double images, it's impossible for you to ever look at this painting the same way again.
In 1945, Dali collaborated with film director Alfred Hitchcock on the film Spellbound. Dali created the design for a dream sequence in which the main character of the film, Gregory Peck, had lost his memory and is accused of murder. Dali created sketches and 10 concept paintings that were recreated through the use of props, miniatures, and trick photography. I hope today's journey into the world of surrealism and the life of Salvador Dali was, for you, just the tip of the iceberg.
We hope you have fun when you check out the Salvador Dali Museum in St. Petersburg, Florida. Have a surreal adventure in the museum. Go through a guided tour and see these incredible paintings in person. Come and take a visit. Dali won't disappoint you. Hope you had fun getting surreal with us.
Thanks for watching.